So you bought the Ninja Creami, but now it's just collecting dust? Maybe your first recipe flopped, or you're afraid to even try? Let's fix that. And not with some random top 5 list, but instead with 5 beginner-proof recipes, each perfect for a different mood. One's low calorie, one's high protein, and one will impress your harshest critics. And by the end, you'll have a go-to creamy recipe for literally any craving. Starting with the easiest one, which I'll call the Lazy Genius. It's perfect for when you want an easy recipe and you're almost out of groceries. This one starts with 2 bananas, which I'll just break in half and throw into the container, 1 cup of 2% milk, any type that you like, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and make sure you use the real stuff, and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. And after freezing it for 24 hours, it's ready to spin. So I'll get this into the container here, twist the lid onto the top, it should click into place, slide it into the Creami, twist this up into place, click on our power button, and I'm just gonna do the scoop setting for this. And I'm just gonna run this on the regular ice cream setting because it's just bananas, milk, and other ingredients. And I'll be back with you in about 2 minutes. And that's probably about as quick as ice cream can possibly be made, but let's take a look at the results. You click this button over here to unlock it so that it can spin downwards, pull it out, take the lid off, and let's take a look inside. And it's looking perfect on the first spin. The texture of it definitely feels a little bit icy, but it feels kind of like you'd expect with a banana Creami. Let's get a spoonful of it. And that's what we're working with here. Now, for the taste test. It's a really delicious and balanced flavor. The banana is definitely the strongest flavor here and smacks you a little bit, but it's like a sweetened, creamy banana is essentially what I feel like I'm eating. It's shockingly good for something this simple. If this ends up being your first Creami ever, solid choice. It kind of tastes like banana pudding a little bit, but with way less effort. The next recipe is for the gym rats, the calorie trackers, or even the people who just want to eat ice cream every day because it's high in protein. It has over 30 grams of protein, tastes like a peanut butter cup, and somehow feels too indulgent to be this healthy. This one starts with 2/3 of a cup of cottage cheese, a little over 1 scoop of chocolate protein powder, 4 tablespoons of PB Fit, 2/3 of a tablespoon of cocoa powder, 1 1/3 tablespoon of Swerve, which is just a sugar alternative, and 2/3 cup of chocolate milk. Now I know cottage cheese and ice cream sounds like a red flag, but just trust me on this. After freezing, this is what this one looks like. And now because this one's high in protein, I'm gonna run it on the Creami Fit setting, which I think is just made for any sort of protein recipes. This one's gonna take about 5 minutes, so then I'll be back with you when it's ready. And now let's take a look. I'll give you the first look at the Creami here. What do you think? Oh my goodness, could it look any better? Let's get a spoonful of this absolute deliciousness we're looking at here. I mean, it looks like perfect chocolate ice cream. But of course, we've got to taste test this. It's creamy, it's chocolatey, it's super peanut buttery, it's rich but perfectly balanced. If I didn't know this was high in protein or filled with cottage cheese, I'd honestly never guess it. But if you want something that's lower in calories and still tastes like dessert, this next one's for you. It's under 200 calories for the entire pint and apparently still tastes like blueberry cheesecake. This one starts with 1/2 cup of frozen blueberries, 3/4 of a cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. I used fat-free. 1 tablespoon of light cream cheese. A tablespoon of Swerve, which as we talked about before, you can use any sugar substitute. 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice with just a pinch of salt on top. And this is what it looks like after freezing, which looks a little bit unique compared to the other ones. And because this one kind of has lighter and low calorie ingredients, I feel like light ice cream makes the most sense, so I'm gonna run it on that. And let's see how it looks in 3 minutes. I can't wait to try this one. Let's dive in. Once again, let's take a first look at this one, and another recipe that does not need to be respun at all and looks just absolutely perfect. And now for a spoonful. Oh, it feels really soft and fluffy, but look at that texture of the ice cream, just perfect. And for the taste test, So it starts with a bit of a blueberry flavor, but then pretty quickly you're hit with kind of what feels like a sour cream cheese flavor. I really wanted to like this one, and I do think it's edible. Like, I'll probably still eat the whole pint, but honestly, this is not one of the better flavors I've made, and I probably wouldn't recommend making this one. So now let's jump to the exact opposite recipe. One that's gonna impress anyone, even yourself. Honestly, this is the kind of creamy that you make that makes people say, wait, you made that ice cream at home? And once again, we're starting off with 2/3 of a cup of cottage cheese, 1 1/3 scoops of vanilla protein powder, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar swerve, not the regular sugar, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of this Logan buttery sweet dough. I know you've probably never seen that before. I got it off of Amazon, and just trust me on it. And then about 3/4 of a cup of milk to fill it up to that max line. And after making it, we're gonna dip some churros into it because it is a churro ice cream that we're making. And this is what it looks like after freezing, but let's get it mixed up. And because this one's a bit proteiny-y also, I'm gonna run it on Creamy Fit once again. And I will see you in 5 minutes. Are you ready to see this one? Because I definitely am. And our first look, oh, this one's really soft today for some reason. Might have left it out just a little bit too long, but you know what? Still looks like delicious ice cream. So let's taste test. It's so good. It honestly tastes exactly like a churro, but I want to level up even more. I searched literally a dozen grocery stores in my area and I can't find regular churros anywhere. But I did come across these churro strips, and after taste testing one, I think they taste pretty similar to regular churros, just a bit dried out. Here is what those chips look like, and I want to give it a dip into this ice cream and see how that is. This can't possibly be bad, but let's do the taste test. I'm honored. It's unbelievable. The ice cream already has a delicious churro flavor, and this just escalates it to that next level. I'm literally gonna eat this whole dang pint. And our last recipe is something totally different once again. If you're dairy-free or just wanna pretend like you're on a tropical island, this next one's for you. This one starts off with 1.5 cups of frozen mango chunks, which is basically this whole 10-ounce bag, half a cup of canned coconut milk, go full fat if you can, 2 teaspoons of maple syrup, and just a pinch of salt to bring out that flavor. And after freezing, it looks like a mango. It's nice and yellow colored, but let's get this spun up. And because mango's our main ingredient here, I'm gonna run this one on the sorbet setting, which should take about 3 minutes, and then we'll take a look at it. Let's take a look at our final creamy. Our first look at this one. Oh my God, a perfect mango sorbet look. And a spoonful of it. Yeah, it's soft, it's fluffy, it's everything you want out of ice cream. Perfect texture. But how does it taste? Because that's the only important part. Whoa, that is a whirlwind of really strong flavors, honestly. The mango hits you really strong at first, and then the coconut kind of comes in and balances it, and then kind of takes over the second half of how you're experiencing the flavor. If you've ever had a mango lassi, it kind of tastes like that mixed with some coconut ice cream into there. It's honestly absolutely delicious. And now I'm gonna go eat the whole pint. I'll see you later.